I'll be honest, this week's race C is terrible. It's 10 laps at a track in my home country, sure, but it's Group 4 on racing hard tires on ×1 tire wear and fuel wear with no mandatory pit. That effectively defeats the whole point of a race C. It's normally meant to be a race of strategy and tire wear, not a glorified daily race B. It's that bad, I simply cannot convince myself to do a race in it. Now, the setting in question for this video is not related to that, but if you want my opinion, increase the lap count to 13 and change the tire wear to ×7 with medium tires added on top for a pit stop. The setting in question, though, is related to the cars. So what is it about the cars, you may be asking? Well, here's the kicker. The car problem with Group 4 is one that has plagued the class for as long as time itself, and that is the drivetrains. Group 4 plays host to the most amount of drivetrain types in any group class, featuring four-wheel drive, mid-rear, front-rear, and even front-wheel drive. Though the problem with that is, with how the BOP is set up, four-wheel drive continually dominates the top of the leaderboards, with the occasional mid-rear appearances from the Citroen GT and Alpha 4C. Simply put, the front rears and front-wheel drives simply stand no chance in full access Group 4 races. This is especially prevalent in this week's Race C. Four-wheel drive is by far and away the best drivetrain to use. Even mid-rears don't stand a chance here. In fact, here's a stat at this specific time. At 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday, out of the top 500 times, only 6 of them are not four-wheel drive cars. The rest are all four-wheel drive. As you can see, it's mostly Alpha 155s and Mazda Atenzas with the occasional Subaru WRX and Genesis G70 thrown in. So now, let's talk about this setting that can greatly improve Group 4 races. This one setting can often be used in regular lobbies, but could definitely be used more often in sport mode. It's found by going to the regulation settings and looking for the drivetrain setting. Normally it's visible on the category line in dailies if there is such a race. As you can see, it limits the amount of cars to a specific drivetrain, so you can only allow FRs or FFs to take part in the race. This finally allows for some cars that were basically unusable previously into their own little group for use by everyone. Imagine a daily race where the Suzuki Swift Sport, Audi TT Cup, and Volkswagen Scirocco are all duking it out for a win. This is basically impossible to achieve in a full class race. As a matter of fact, this setting has actually been used once before for Group 4. To find out, we need to go all the way back to February. The race was situated at St. Croix B for 9 laps with Group 4 cars, but it was limited to only the FR Group 4s. At the time, the Citroen was the de facto meta car every other week, so this was a welcome change, even if temporary. Granted, the Toyota Supra was the meta car for this particular race, but unlike with the Citroen back then and the four-wheel drives now, other cars could stand a fighting chance. Cars like the Mercedes SLS AMG, Aston Martin V8 Vantage, and Chevrolet Corvette all had their own strengths to match the Supra in overall pace on this track. This race also had 5 times tire wear, which did allow for heavy tire wear and pit stops. Granted again, the mediums did last for 2/3 of the race, but it's a lot better than ×1 wear with no pit stops whatsoever. Maybe it could have run ×6 tire wear to allow for the hards to run longer in the race, but it's already gone by a long time ago. We can definitely use that for future Group 4 races, however. Anyway, the point I'm making from all of this is, limiting the drivetrain allowed for multiple different cars to be used and be viable at the same time, when previously they simply couldn't keep up. So in conclusion, we have found that limiting the drivetrains allow for different cars to be used in larger quantities, and that putting them in their own subclasses allow for those cars to be viable options to battle each other, rather than being forced to live so far off the pace of the four-wheel drives and occasionally MRs. Using the setting more often can definitely be a refreshing change from the Atenza and Citroen metas we get every single week and improve our overall experience and enjoyment of racing with the Group 4 class. But what do you think about drivetrain limitation? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and I'll catch you around.